With Mates podcast. My name is Andrew Grayson, your host as ever, and we are here for one reason and one reason only. That is to head on over to Metropolis and talk all things Superman. And joining me to talk all things Sup, he is the Triple Barrel Man. He is Craig Andrew Mooney.
Demonetized. Delighted to be here, Andrew. Delighted to be here to talk about all this.
We'll not get demonetized.
We'll see.
And he is the babiest of baby boons. He is the Iceman. It's baby boon, Josef Boone.
Oh no, sorry, wrong franchise. Apologies.
Did I not already do that bit?
He's done that. He has done that.
I can't remember. I don't.
I like it though. I like it though.
There we go.
It's a returning bit that's going to come back.
Recurring
So yes,
bit.
we are here to talk about Superman. But before we get into that, we have some stuff we need to address at the top of the podcast, and that is subscription goal was hit. We wanted to hit 50 subscribers on YouTube before we did this video. We are currently sitting at 57 subscribers, so thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed. We hope
Thanks,
you are
guys.
enjoying the content.
Cued me a foul
There is
chip.
plenty more to come. As we say, obviously we're doing Superman today. We've got Fantastic Four by the end of the month. But that brings us to the end of the month where we would like to reach 100 subscribers. So, if you're watching this and you've watched loads of other videos and you haven't subscribed, you're probably my least favourite of all the people that are watching our videos, because hit that fucking subscribe button. I'm joking. I will like you as soon as you hit the button, but we're all friends here. However, if you are new and you're just like, oh, I really enjoyed or I really hated Superman and I want to see what these guys are talking about, and this is the first time you're watching the channel, welcome in. Happy to have you, but hit the fucking subscribe. Don't be like those people. Don't be like the people that are watching and not subscribing. Hit the subscribe button, because as I say, we've got lots and lots to come. So end of July, we would like to hit 100, and if we do hit 100, we will have a new goal for the end of August and so on and so forth until the end of the year, because we want to build this With Mates community as big as possible. And what we do here at the With Mates podcast, we talk all things movies and all things TV show, and today the movie is, of course, James Gunn's, the new DCU, not DCEU, the new DCU first movie, which is Superman. So, for those who haven't seen the podcast, that's how it works. We will give our top thoughts, just general ideas of what we thought of the podcast, of the movie, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty details and give you a big old spoiler warning and get into those details. But before that, boys, how are we?
Doing groovy, my man. Doing groovy. It has been beautifully sunny in Scotland for the past week or so, and today's the first day it's been pissing a rain. We're back on farm.
The one thing I would say, right, I am a sun mon. I love the sun, love getting a tan, love being out in the hot and all that stuff, but Scotland is a different type of heat. The word clammy is what I would use, because
muggy,
see, in the fucking evening, try to fall asleep. We don't have air conditioning. We're not built for air conditioning. Why? Because it's fucking Antarctica by the time we get to September, October time. We don't get the sun. We're not used to this yellow sun here in Scotland. But yeah, I'm loving the weather, but it's fucking brutal at night to try and get to sleep.
Utterly awful. I mean, it's because our houses are, the buildings are designed to keep the heat in. And when there's heat, back when they were made in like the 80s, the heat was like, here we go, here's a nice 10 degrees Celsius for you, that'll be great. And now it's like a million fucking degrees Celsius because of global warming. And now it's like you're just sweating your buzz off the entire time. You're lying there on top of you've just got a duvet. You don't even have the quilt in the duvet. You're just lying there hoping, praying death claims you, really, at this point.
How about you, Craig? How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right. I was in an even warmer place this weekend. I was in London, actually. I was seeing a couple of shows. It was great. I saw Hercules. Similar kind of vibes to Superman.
Non-spoilers, because I might be going to see it later in the year. How was Hercules?
Hercules was a lot of fun. If you'd like me to be honest, I would say that the film is still by far and away better.
Oh, yeah.
But that was obviously, but like, it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. What I would say, shout out to the people who played the Muses. They were great. They were so much fun. And I also
a lot of them on social media for advertising and stuff.
They're really awesome. They're really awesome. And then I think probably the standout probably for me as well was I love what they did with the character of Hades. Because obviously you can't really replicate what James Woods did in the film, so you kind of have to find a new way of doing the character. And I really enjoyed what they did with it. I thought it was really good. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Definitely go and see it.
How did they keep his head on fire for the entire show? Was it petrol? Was it propane? Like what did they do? Was it just like
Yeah.
a big LED screen that followed him? That was like, you know?
I was fearing for my life the entire show. Yeah, is just they kept spraying
Follow-up
more petrol on the
question.
fire.
Follow-up question to Joseph's question: how did they make his face fold inside when Superman gave him the punch? Is what I would like to know.
Exactly. Yeah.
That movie's fucking.
It's so
top-tier.
good,
It's so
isn't it?
good.
For listeners, old and new, right? If you're new to this, we do a thing called With Mates Ranked, where we rank a certain type of movie, or maybe in the future it might be an actor, it might be a director. We will eventually figure out a way to do Disney movies and fucking
Disney
trust me
Renaissance.
when I say
Disney
Hercules
Renaissance.
will be fucking up there for me. Right,
Oh, yeah.
enough about us. Let's get into this, right? So, we have done a small social media reaction, so you will have a rough idea of where Craig Andrew Mooney sits. I'm sitting here wearing a fucking Superman top, so I would think that would give away my reaction. So let's start with Joseph. Joseph, what did you think of this iteration of this movie? What did you think of Superman?
It was no bad. It was no bad. Like, yeah, it was a fun wee romp. Didn't do anything revolutionary. Yeah, it was streets ahead of Zack Snyder, even though everyone does love Zack Snyder. But then again, well-renowned director Zack Snyder. But really, ultimately, if you're looking at it in a vacuum, I think it was a very fun film. They clearly knew how to use the characters well. They knew how to use especially the main theme well, and the score was beautiful. Visually, it was a great film. I think the plot needed just a wee bit more oomph in places. But ultimately, when you're comparing it to the last 20 years of superhero films, in recent, it's comparable with those first sort of arcs of Avengers, Marvel films there. It's hitting that same bar. And the reason it feels so good to the masses is because the bar was already so low, and James Gunn needed to just step over it. But I think he's tried to jump, and I think he's done an all right job at it, really.
But did he fly, Joseph? But did he fly?
No, he didn't fly. I wouldn't say this flew. The film it didn't wow me, but it didn't leave me dissatisfied. This was a good midweek film.
Fair enough. And from Grumpy Man number 3 to Grumpy Man number 2, Craig Andrew, what did you think of Superman? Because
Grumpy
we all
Man
know
number
who Grumpy
2.
Man number fucking 1 is. Let me make that clear.
Grumpy Man number 2 is on vacation this week, Andrew. My word. So this is here we go. I'll try and be as succinct as I possibly can. So Superman, for the listeners and watchers, and probably Andrew and Joseph as well, I don't know how much we've really talked about this. Superman's my first superhero, right? This character means the absolute world to me. The Christopher Reeve version of this character, I think, probably is my first memory of what a superhero was, like on screen, for example. This character...
What age are you?
What age am I? Same age as you. You're younger than you?
Am I older though?
Yeah, by 1 year.
Yeah. No, I'm not having a go. I'm trying to do the maths in my head, because to me,
So,
was Superman not 89 or something?
Yeah, Superman was the 70s. Superman's an older film. So, no. So the reason why that is because I kind of was given these films as a kid by my dad. So like Superman, Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy. I watched them quite young, and that's kind of where it all came from, I would say, for me. So, like this character for me, it instilled in me a sense of right and wrong, a sense of honor, that being a man is about treating people with respect and kindness, and just to have a desire to do good. It all stems, I think, from that core memory of watching that version of Superman. And I think
still wears his boxers over his trousers. I keep asking him to stop, but he keeps doing it.
Yeah, it's been problematic in public, but I maintain I look good. So it's all fine. But so I think for me that the latest iteration of this character that we've been given by David Cornsweet and also by James Gunn, obviously being behind the whole thing, I think this is encompassing with that. I think it contains all the things that I think Superman should be and what it is for me, and I think it's pitched perfectly in that sense. He's great. He's perfect in the role. Rachel Brosnahan, who I predicted would be, is fantastic as Lois Lane. She's perfect for that role as well. It's hard to beat Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor because he played the role for so long. However, that being said, I think Nicholas Hoult with time is going to be a very, very up there version of this character. And to be honest with you, out of all the performances, he's the one where I properly sat up in my chair. And at one point, there's one particular moment in the film, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, where I genuinely went, wow. Like, he is a phenomenal actor. He is so fucking good. And I would say, like, ensemble cast-wise, great. Crypto. Yes, Crypto, Paul, if you're watching. I know you're watching, Paul. Crypto and Mr. Terrific, I enjoyed. Thought the cast was brilliant. So, yeah, I was a massive, massive fan of this film.
Fair enough. If you follow us on social media, you'll know I've seen it twice. I've seen it twice because I fucking love this film.
Yes.
I don't disagree with everything Joseph said. There's a couple of things that Joseph said that he's entirely correct about in terms of it does kind of tread ground that we've seen before. Very similar to like the introduction to, say, like Iron Man 1 and Cap and stuff like that. The thing for me that makes this movie excel, in my opinion, is David Cornsweet is born to play Spider-Man. He's born to play Superman. Not if you ask him. Apparently, he would trade in being Superman to be a Jedi Knight, which I found very interesting.
X-Wing pilot as well.
Did you see that one?
X-Wing pilot. He wants to be an X-Wing pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I seen a tweet. I'm going to pull it up on my screen here just now. And it summed it up for me. His performance. He is the Superman that the Iron Giant looked up to, which I think is such a lovely way. Yeah, here it is here. So it's at Mischiefs YT said, this is the Superman that Iron Giant looked up to. And I think that's such a lovely sentiment because when you watch Iron Giant, that's, by the way, that's a film. I don't know how we get that into a list, but we need to talk about Iron Giant because
we could just watch it and review it. We don't need to do it as part of a list,
a little bit
like,
of how have you know seen that might have to rear its ugly head for the Iron Giant. But yeah, the Iron Giant is so pure in that movie, and I think that's what David Cornsweet, and I'll get into more specifics as to why and how I think he does this. But David Cornsweet is, and I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought Henry Cavill was very, very good. I think Henry Cavill got done dirty, but David Cornsweet is the reason this movie is so good. Like, again, there are so many highlights. Mr. Terrific was fantastic. Rachel Brosnahan is Lois. Lex Luthor, big fan of this guy. Like, so much so I had to go get him in Funko Pop version. I didn't get him, my lovely girlfriend bought me them. But
that's,
yeah, like
Crypto the Superdog for podcast listeners.
Crypto the Super. Oh yeah, apologies, I forget we're not just on YouTube. Yeah, I got a Crypto Pop. Partly because he looks like I used to have a Westie, and the Pop kind of looks more like a Westie than what Crypto was. So like my lovely girlfriend got me it because of that. But yeah, Crypto was funny. James Gunn, look, to me, I don't think James Gunn misses. I think if you look at James Gunn's history, everything he touches is fantastic. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that he does comedy wise where it's almost like, just fire them out and we'll see what lands. There's some stuff in this that doesn't hit, but there's a lot of stuff in this that I was absolutely pissing myself laughing at. I think James Gunn is up there for me for the best person that shoots action. The action set pieces that he puts together are absolutely fantastic, and there's at least 2 in this one that I absolutely adored. The score is used beautifully. I loved what they did with Man Pa Kent. Yeah, to me, there's not a lot of negatives. There's a couple, but there's not a lot of negatives. But the biggest compliment I can give this is throughout the film, and very much the ending of the film, I had the biggest smile on my face watching this. It was so refreshing. It was so fun. It was vibrant, colourful, goofy. Like, it was just a nice ease into what is the beginning. And it's the thing as well, is they don't beat you over the head of we're about to expand into a bigger universe, but there's definitely wee morsels in there to go, we're about to make something so much bigger, and these are some of the characters that you might see along the way. And we've got tie-ins to things that have came before, which was a lovely wee cameo from the one and only, spoiler, John Cena. But yeah, to me, I absolutely adored this film. I went to see it twice. I'm probably going to go see it again with my dad because my dad wants to see it. So yeah, I'm very much a fan of the old Superman, but now is the time for spoiler talk. So if you have not yet seen Superman and you were just here for the spoiler-free version, now is the time to pause the podcast, pause the YouTube video, pause listening to us, head on over to whatever cinema you see these movies in, and then come on back to hear what we have to say in full spoiler form. Now, normally I would ask who's going to kick things off, but we are a man down today just because of timings. But the wonderful, the radiant, the ever positive Paul Smacky has given us a lovely little video. So we're going to insert this here. We've not seen it yet, so you will be seeing us live reacting to Paul's video. So we're going to put that on just now and hear what Mr. Pauly Smack, Paul Stirrett, has to say about Superman.
Hello, Pauly Smack here, smacking to you live from the fortress of Smackitude. That's right, unfortunately I can't be smacking with you there together, but I am smacking with you
leaning into this smacking
in spirit. Josef, are these two treating you well? Are they ganging up on you?
No, they're not.
Are they saying it's the best film ever made, and you are being the righteous voice of saying, no, it was fine? Because I'm here to back you up.
Thank you, Paul.
Uncle Pauly Smack is here to back you up and say this
Creepy
film
Uncle
was fine. It was a mid film. It was fun, but I've already forgotten half of it. Superman was well cast. He's a good looking Superman. Like, he's well cast there. Lex Luthor was a lot of fun. He gave a lot of energy to the performance. Nicholas Hoult, probably the best thing about this.
But
having said that, this is James Gunn. And I feel like all of his directing energies are better suited to a group of oddballs trying to complete a mission. Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. And I feel that that just doesn't mesh well with Superman. In fact, I would say at times during this film, it felt like he was kind of trying to do a Justice Gang film with Superman in it. And I just feel like it was a bit of a mishmash and it didn't really sit right with me. I feel like he probably wanted to do a Justice Gang film, but he's like, oh, fine, I gotta do Superman.
Yeah, the head of Warner Brothers, that's
Having
his
said
thoughts.
that, it's a totally fine kind of mid-film, but I wouldn't say it was amazing. And as you know, Pauly Smack is famous enemy of dogs, and there was, of course, the super dog. Now, you know my thoughts on this. Since the trailer, I have not been a fan, and I can't say I was that much of a fan watching it either. I was pretty much the Homelander meme throughout most of the movie, and particularly so when the dog was on screen. I just know my thing, I think. The dog in a cape that can fly. Yeah. Anywho, didn't hate the film, so that's something to take home. Didn't hate it. Thought it was fine. Had some funny moments. Sometimes a bit overly so. That kind of overly done James Gunn kind of humour. But yeah, it was a good film. But I wouldn't say crazy good. I will give Superman, and I forget even what the new name of the film is, so the new Superman film, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And having said that, I'm going to rescore my Jurassic Park Rebirth.
Ooh. Because
I feel like I was looking into the big eyes of Andrew Grayson, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I am downgrading that from a 5 to a 4, possibly a 3.5. So however you want to look at it there, I just think it was a worse film in hindsight. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. I'll be smacking with you all real soon. Pauly Smack, out!
Such a knob,
That's
man.
the most concise he's ever been.
It's the things he says, it's the things he makes, it's Pauly Smack and his smelly takes.
Whoa.
I don't think James Gunn has ever uttered the ugh of making it. He's literally the head of DC and he doesn't want to make us. Shut up, Paul. Fair enough. That's Pauly Smack's thoughts.
Yeah.
And listen, Paul, if you're watching, mate, you score movies whatever you... I know you're doer. You don't need to fucking score them up for my sake, so you do whatever you want, mate. So yeah, it didn't really get into spoilers, so we can take it from spoilers. So, I'm trying to think the best way. If you want to do it through the film, or do you want to just kind of take
Let's
wee moments what your
do it
favourite
through the
parts
film
are?
because
Yeah.
the way it opened was fantastic. I loved that. I loved the whole like 30 years through that whole sort of quick, almost like a title scroll where it just gave you all of the background you needed for the film, so you can get right into it. And I didn't. This kind of like this stays throughout the entire film. I don't feel like I was being spoon fed anything as an audience member. I don't think I was being made or also made to feel out of the loop with little like character names, plot references, anything like that. I think it was a very easily digestible film for newcomers to Superman, and I think it was a very hearty meal for people who know Superman and love Superman and have grounding in that world before, and giving us the really punchy intro of, and this is the first time Superman loses as your stake for the film. Brilliant.
That moment I was like, that's when I went, oh, fuck, I'm in here. The whole, and this goes for the whole film, the fact that they kind of go, look, been here for 300 years, we're already in the midst of it, and there's points within the film where people look bored about the big kaiju that's up because they've seen it so many times. I like that. James Gunn has been on record saying, we don't need any more
origin stories.
We don't need any more origin stories. We don't need to see Batman in the perils. We don't need to see Spider-Man getting bit. And we don't need to see a baby getting sent off Krypton. And I could not agree more. As someone that's watched this from the early 2000s, even to the mid 90s, we don't need any of that. So I loved the text. I loved that it was a very kind of Star Wars-esque kind of scroll. Even the way it was written, like 3 centuries ago, 3 decades ago, it's
like poetry. It rhymed.
Oh, loved it. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
Exactly. There was a big hairy dog in it as well. It's almost as if we base everything off this one fucking IP. Yeah, I loved it. And do you know it's a thing that's actually concerning me just now. The thing I really liked is that whole opening was basically what we got as a trailer and as a clip. It was the first kind of 4 or 5 minutes. There's too much footage now of Fantastic Four, and I wanted to stop. Stop it, Marvel. Well, I don't want any more footage, please.
I was going to say,
I'm coming to see the film.
The trailer for the new Ryan Gosling film, where it's like the totally not successor to The Martian, which
Project Hail Mary.
Buzzing to see. Yeah, Project Hail Mary. The trailer was fantastic until they gave away the twist in the trailer.
Yeah,
I have been reassured. I agree, but I have
me.
been reassured there's more.
No, but
apparently there is.
But
more.
you don't need to be reassured.
I agree. No, I agree. Because I said that. So I was speaking to it was my girlfriend's friend's partner had read the book, and he was telling me, he's like, oh, yeah, they kind of gave something away. And I went, the bit. I'm not going to say it just in case someone's not watched the trailer. And I was like, yeah, I feel as if they didn't have to do it. I felt they could have just cut, and then that would have been such a cool reveal in the film. And he went, well, there is more, so don't kind of stress. But I was like, yeah, I agree. But I was just like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. But I agree.
Pains me. But yeah, opening fantastic.
Too much given away.
Opening was fantastic. The CGI on the dog, I felt, was a bit uncanny valley in places, but the design of Crypto was fantastic. It was a fantastic bit of visual storytelling.
I'm going to tell you now how much I'm going to praise this fucking dog. The entire fucking YouTube video that I'm reviewing here. I loved Crypto, and I get that there'll be people. My missus was one of them. She fucking hated the dog. I love the dog, and the dog leads into my favourite part of this whole film, which we will talk about a wee bit later. But yeah, the whole opening, getting the robots, getting introduced again, stuff that we've already seen. Getting to see the
Fortress of Solitude.
Thank you very much. The Fortress of Solitude. But what I loved, and what I thing that kind of, again, the scroll text was stunning, and loved it that it kind of set up, right, this is the stakes, this is where we're at, and this is what's happening. See, when he gets like healed, obviously, oh yeah, forgetting in the opening, Bradley Cooper is his dad.
Alan Tudyk as the droid.
Well, yeah.
More importantly,
Gary.
Fucking, I always forget her name. No, Clementine.
Oh,
no.
Palm Clementeef.
Clementine, yeah, she was 14, I think.
Yeah, she was
12. She was also. and she was also in it later on. Oh, we've got spoilers, so fuck it, I can say it. She was fucking Element Man's wife. Did you clock that?
Oh yeah,
I didn't see that.
Blonde,
that's
yeah,
cool.
that was, I'm certain it was. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, I loved obviously getting the part with the sun, and then he flies off. The moment where he kind of flies up and the S kind of takes center, and then you get the title Superman, I was like, oh, this is special. Like, there was something about that opening, the flying up, the symbol, and then the Superman that felt very retro, felt very like kind of ode to the ones in the past. But my day, like I could not have been more in for the beginning of this film. It was so fucking good.
The choice.
Craig, what did you think of it?
Sorry, Craig.
Sorry, Joseph. No, Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, go on, Joseph.
No, because Craig will do his opening thing, and there's something I want to speak about more as part of that opening. So, Craig, please take the stand.
Oh, okay, no worries. So yeah, I enjoyed that as the jumping off point. Crypto. I enjoyed that as the way to start the film. I always enjoy starting a film in a moment of crisis or there's some kind of bit of tension to get things going. I thought it was because obviously we'd seen that clip, but we don't obviously know when that was taking place inside the film. So I was very happy to see that's actually how the film began, and it starts with him losing. The title's on the screen, I believe. Now I may be wrong. People who are more au fait with it than me, I think that's a homage to the original Superman film. I'm pretty sure the original Superman film has that kind of title crawl at the start. Because I remember thinking at the time it was like Star Wars, but I might be wrong about that. So anyway, yeah. So I think that is a great way to start off a film. It's starting with him losing, which again sets up the whole thing about Superman. Which the whole thing about Superman is that he's invincible, he can't be beat, all these things. So to have him start off the film by losing a fight, that immediately sets the tone of what this new Superman is going to be like, and that he's not perfect, which is great, and also feeds in to the end of the film, which we'll get to obviously when we get to the end of the film. So yeah, love that. Love Crypto. Think he's great. Love that. I loved everything about that dog in that film. He is a big focal point of the film. And shout out again to the other part of the ensemble. Alan Tudyk is number 4. I like that droid. I like that droid, that robot, quite a lot. So, he knows what he's doing, Alan Tudyk, with the voice acting, yeah. He has the best joke in the entire film, which we'll get to at the end, I imagine, as well. But my favourite joke of the entire film is what he says right at the end, in his last scene. So, yeah, a big fan of the opening. I thought it was a great way to start the film and got me on the edge of my seat straight away.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I can't disagree. I think time with that opening, I said this to Lara as we were leaving the cinema, the way it opens with that lovely reverby guitar riff of the main theme.
Mate, how good is the score,
Right, okay,
man?
so I want to talk about the score, because first of all, the score is dorky as fuck. Now, bear with me. What has happened is a kid who's grown up watching Superman, who has been dorky, who's related to Superman, has watched that and went, I'm going to make Superman cool, and I'm going to use guitar with some reverb and some pedal, and he's going to play it, and I'm going to make it look cool and sound cool. And by trying to make it sound cool, it's more dorky, and because it's done that, it's come full circle and become one of the coolest, genuinely quite most emotional sounds in the film.
Can I also add the fact as well that this Superman is a big fucking dweeb dork?
Which he is.
Fucking
yes.
dork. And I say this in the best way possible.
Because
he's
Superman is a
fucking
dork. He's
dweeb.
He's a dork. He's a dweeb. He's like... This film is a great exercise in character writing, and the way you can use a bit of character as both a virtue and a flaw. Because Superman is a paragon of hope, justice, ideal, all that good Boy Scout shit, and you know that he's going to do justice and save the world and will leap a tall building. Actually, bad thing about the film, we never saw him leap a tall building in a single bound. We should have seen that, but he's the amazing man from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman, and we should have gotten that. But anyway. He is so good, and the whole argument he has with Lois during the interview, it's like he cannot see when that good steps over into him doing wrong, and having a character be so good he does wrong as the inciting incident of the film for Superman immediately tells the audience that this tonally is going to be different. It's going to be different to what you've seen. It's going to be starkly different to what we've seen in recent memory with Zack Snyder's black and white Superman, with his anger and his Kalelno,
OP level
Yeah.
of fucking superpower.
It's gorgeous. Like the score carried this film when it didn't need carrying. It does as much heavy lifting as the rest of it. The color grading in the film was beautiful, and stunningly beautiful. Apart from that alleyway scene where he goes to see Mutant Toes, that I think it was oversaturated there. Might have been my dog eyes. I don't know. But the only bit of the soundtrack or score that I don't think worked, which we can talk about later, is James Gunn's Mr. Blue Sky moment. Really,
Okay,
I didn't vibe with it.
that's fair. So yeah, we'll talk. We will reach these points, and there's points where I'll kind of intersect, because there's a lot I actually want to talk about David Cornsweet and the actual character of Superman within this film. But yeah, so obviously Superman flies back. He's going to fight the hammer of
Baravia.
Baravia. And again, a wonderful introduction to Lex Luthor. We just see Superman fucking shooting through. The sunlight kind of takes up basically the full screen, and Lex turns and he's like, he's back. Wonderful introduction to that character. And again, I'm not well versed in previous Supermans. The only other Superman movies I've seen are the Henry Cavill ones. I haven't watched the old. Oh no, that's a lie. I've seen Brandon Routh's Superman Returns on my PSP. I'll have you know, UMD
lovely.
PSP. Yeah,
Lovely.
fucking check, yeah.
Well,
For all you fucking gamer nerds out there. But yeah, so I'm not well versed in terms of, but from what I can tell from this character and the small amount of knowledge that I do know about him, Lex, that I think Nick Holt's the best. There's a part later in it where he's screaming and he's like, brain beats brawn, and I'm like, he is the antithesis of this. The fact that he's got, I think there's a bit of fucking text later on where one of the guys is like, yeah, he's got 2,500 fight moves to be able to defeat Superman. I'm like, what a fucking loser that's watched that much fucking tape of Superman fighting that you can come up with 2,500 different ways of fighting him and stuff. And the whole A1, T13, Q5, like all that, I fucking bought into that shit, man. I thought that was great. But the biggest thing, and it gets introduced very, very early with us, and it's the thing I think that's where we've struggled to get a good Superman movie / game. I like that Superman had weakness. I like that he wasn't this fucking undefeatable. Like I'm not joking. Like, again, Snyder fans, come at me. Fucking the more again, if I can take the hate, get in the comments, as many comments as you can. See the scene where fucking, is it Darkseid or fucking whatever the fucking horny prick was in Justice League. See when he hits him with his axe and Superman takes it and then he fucking blows ice and I'm like, mate, you're OP. What's the point in the rest of them? There's no fucking point. Yeah, Steppenwolf. I was like, there's no point. But him getting absolutely smashed into the ground and the wee falafel cart guy that come over and help him, again, it's giving him more character. And there's moments throughout the whole film where he shows this kind of side of weakness and stuff. But yeah, that leads us to a question I need to put to you guys. Were you happy with the balance of how much Clark Kent we got in terms of what we got with him in comparison to Superman? Because I don't feel like we got a lot of Clark Kent, but I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think we needed Clark Kent as much in this film, because it's a Superman film. We're going to see a Superman film. We want to see Superman. We want to see Superman tackling with the things he's got to do. But I think there was just enough in it to give you that level of the human element to him. I mean, you got it. You need it in the Daily Planet. Is it Daily Planet or is it Daily Bugle?
Yep.
Which one's which?
Daily Planet.
Spider-Man's Daily Bugle.
You get that, and you get him coming in the door, and then because really Clark Kent's there to hide Superman's identity and be the alter ego, and also there's the romance with Lois Lane. But we just skipped all that because we didn't need it. It's an origin. As part of an origin, you don't need to have the secret identity. You don't need to have the will they won't they with Lois and Superman or Lois and Clark Kent.
Can I just say, fucking love the glasses thing where he was like, there's a bit where she's like, oh, people are going to know, and he's like, no, but the glasses. I love that. And then later on, when Green Lantern was like, oh, the fucking
the
hypno glasses,
mind control glasses.
Hypno
glasses.
And it's like, oh, people don't see his face of what his face actually. I was like, that's genius. It's so fucking stupid, but it works. It's brilliant. Just wanted to say that. Loved it.
It did fantastically. And I think we got enough of him. If there was too much, it would felt like padding. I think really the character of Clark Kent works a lot better in serialized Superman content, like Smallville, for instance.
Yeah.
Where it's more about the day-to-day keeping the identity under wraps, whereas like a big film, you want to focus on the Man of Steel, you know?
Yeah. I feel as if they also kind of let it go. Like, there's a load of moments like that. There's a lovely moment. I loved the Justice Gang. I thought Nathan Fillion was fucking phenomenal as Guy Gardner. He was so perfectly douchey that I was just like, I want... Right, so Paul said that again, not that I'm having a go at Stirrat, but I'm going to have a go at Stirrat. He says he felt like that he was wanting to do a Justice Gang movie instead of... No, he was doing a Superman movie, but padding it out for the rest of the... I now want to see more of Mr. Terrific. I now want to see more of Guy Gardner. I feel like Isabella Merced got done a wee bit dirty. She didn't really have much to do as Hawk Girl. Didn't like the screaming... The Hawk scream. I wasn't really a fan of that. But she's fantastic, so I'll happily watch more of her. He's gave these characters enough to do within a Superman film that makes me go, I can't wait until that person shows up again. But yeah, the moment where he kind of talks about the hypno glasses and he's like, oh, so he's Clark Kent, and Lois turns around and goes, why does he trust why is he telling everybody who
because
he is?
He's flawed. He's so good. It's a flaw.
Oh, mate, it's so
that's how Superman is.
Fuck off! Is this a 6 out of 10? This is such a good film, man. It's so layered. Paul, get a grip. But yeah, like he's. I love the fact that they've already kind of set up that, again, super identity or secret identities are not really a thing. It's a thing that I enjoy that they do in Marvel. The fact that obviously the whole I am Iron Man was the beginning of it, and it wasn't really a secret identity thing. Because as you say, Joseph, it's super. We come to see Superman. We want to see him doing his thing and stuff like that. Craig, tell me more. Like, obviously, you kind of said that you think that there's space for Nick Holt to grow into being the best Lex. Like, what about his performance give you that thought? And like, what did you like within the frame of what he did?
So it's not so much about what he did, it's just more the fact that I think he needs a bit more time to kind of flesh out the role, like even more than he already has. And as I said, like I was a massive fan of Smallville growing up. So I if you were to ask, I think most people, they would say that Michael Rosenbaum playing Lex Luthor is probably the best version of that character, just because he had so much time, and also they enjoyed the relationship between him and Tom Welling, because it was actually a friendship initially that kind of grew into something. But I think because James Gunn obviously is a friend with Michael Rosenbaum, and I think Michael Rosenbaum had a wee cameo in the film as well. I think he was like one of the soldiers. I think he did one of the voices of that. So James Gunn himself has said that Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor that there's been, and I think what he did very well is that he drew on what made that character good for Nicholas Holt's version of Lex, which is essentially the jealousy, the envy, and that's what I think made this performance so great. And also the bizarre thing about all of this is obviously that Nick Holt was his second choice for Superman, so he missed out on the role. And I think I'm sure he doesn't hold that much resentment, because obviously he's got a very good role out of it. He's probably got the more interesting role in Lex Luthor, but essentially you have that to draw on. The fact that you missed out on this role to this guy, you can draw on that envy and that jealousy that you maybe would or would not have, and it kind of fed into his performance. And as I say, in terms of like the acting performance in the film, he was by far and away the best, absolutely 100%. And I think that they were all very well cast in the role, but he, I think, will be a big part of why this DCU is going to succeed, because you need a great villain. And Lex Luthor is like the quintessential villain of the DC universe. He's one of the top, in the top 5, if not top 3. So you've got to have a very good one that you're going to grow with, and I think that he starts him off at a good point that he will be able to grow. And not because he is a bit like kind of like a
podcast within a podcast. Top 5 DC villains. Let's do this.
oh
Right.
fuck.
Top 5 DC villains. Joker's one.
Yeah.
Joker's kind of got to be one.
Yeah, Joker's
Yeah.
got to be one. That's
Sadly.
a given. Who are we going to?
I think Lex Luthor's
I
too.
feel as if it's going to be. I think it's Batman dominated. I'm not going to lie.
I think Lex,
You would
I think
have
Lex Luthor's
someone
too.
like Doomsday, probably. Or Apocalypse. Is it Apocalypse? I can't remember. It's one.
No,
it's one of the ones
Doomsday-
that comes and fucking eats things and is an arsehole.
I think Doomsday's the guy that Steppenwolf was working.
You will
for.
have Red Hood up there as well.
Red Hood's a show.
Because Red Hood's a really
Mhm.
good one.
Yellow Lantern, is that a bad guy?
There's a bad
Oh
lantern.
yeah, there's a bad lantern.
Again, my knowledge is just going.
Hmm.
I'm going through Batman. I'm going like fucking Two-Face, Penguin, Penguin,
Actually,
Penguin's in there.
Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah, this version of
it's
Penguin.
it's I looked up Dark Side.
Darkseid was
Yeah,
the big
That's
bad.
one
Yeah.
of them. Is Black Adam a villain in the DCU or the
Kind
DC
of.
world?
I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't put him in there.
I seen a tweet.
He's a
I
Shazam
seen a
villain.
tweet where it was like, remember when The Rock just decided he was going to just save the DCU and be the leader as Black Adam? I was just like, yeah, that's a fucking weird time in movies. So let's go Joker, then we'll go Lex.
Yeah.
Then I'm feeling, again, I feel as if I've not seen any of the animated stuff, but Doomsday, Darkseid is probably, we'll give him 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like Red Hood as a shout. Fucking what's his name? He was in the Suicide Squad game. He's a Superman villain.
Bizarro?
No.
Oh,
We're
Brainiac.
gonna talk about Bizarro.
Brainiac's a good villain.
Brainiac's
a good villain.
I think we'll go Brainiac.
Brainiac's a really good villain.
And it's not too Batman. That was your podcast within a podcast of ranking DC's top 5 villains. Let us know your top 5 villains in the comments below. Yeah, so Lex, again, another thing I want to ask you guys about, because we get it was another thing that was given as like a clip, and it was the interview between Lois and Superman, which I fucking loved. I thought it was so well done. It was perfect balance of kind of couple tension, nice wee bits of comedy, but again, it gave us who this Superman is, where she's like, yeah, who gives you the right to... He's like, people were going to fucking die. Like, people were... Like, I did what was right. I wasn't representing anybody. I did the right thing. Like, did you like that whole kind of scene?
Yeah.
As a whole?
Yeah, like, it gave a lot of depth to who Superman was, as opposed to just, like, I wear a cape and I punch bad people in the face. It was very much like, he's trying so hard to do good. Like I said earlier, he's done bad, and he's still trying to justify it as like no, look, I was genuinely really trying, but it could have been played in such like a toxic masculine way and been like,
Mate, there was such a good line that was on that line. See where she goes, how do you think this is going? He's like, I think I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was a good line,
man.
because it's like it felt like he didn't want to say that. He just kind of said it because it was like a little bit childish, a little bit like naive, and he's like I'm kind of still not happy that he's not being understood, but he didn't take it out properly on Lois, which I think was a very good stance to have. That because he
I love as well that he admitted as well, where it was like hashtag super shit, and he's like, don't use that one, you know that one pisses me. And I was just like, you're Superman and you're getting annoyed by fucking internet trolls. Like, it's so well done to bring it into this modern era where of course there's going to be these fucking gimps getting it, well, which we learn later on are Lex Luthor's monkeys. But like, again,
great.
It modernized it very well, and then you had like I don't think you could have got that scene with Cavill's Superman. Like tonally or performance wise, because like looking at Henry Cavill, you're like, you don't give a fuck about what people say online. Whereas like, as we said earlier, because David Cornsweet's the way he's performing him is that he's got that bit of dorky sort of, he's still a teenager in here. He still feels like he's like,
he feels
going
young.
through puberty. He still feels young.
Yeah.
He still feels.
Yeah.
You know, it was the whole the beautiful punk rock conversation. Where he's like, I'm punk rock. He's like, no, you're not. You're not punk rock. You're about as punk rock as white bread. And like, but he thinks he is, and he's just.
There's
trying
another
so hard.
line. There's another line though that later again, and he's a fucking dweeb, but it works and it's so endearing, and it's the thing that Corn Sweat does best in my opinion, where she's like, oh, but you. She's like, we're so different. Like, I don't trust anybody, whereas you think everybody's like beautiful. And he went, yeah, well, maybe that's what's really punk rock. And you're like, no, it's not. But you're very sweet for thinking.
That is really punk rock though.
No,
that is totally punk rock though.
That is punk rock.
It is totally punk rock.
He is so fucking sweet. I need to take this moment. We'll go back over some stuff like. Oh no, we'll get to it. I'm enjoying fucking gushing about this film. So we get the interview moment. There's so many fucking really nice lines where the two of them are kind of like jibbing on each other, and he says something like, "Oh, Superman doesn't take selfies," and she's like, "What? Are you talking about yourself in the third person?" He's like, "No, I'm trying to work something in just," and she's like, "Well, that's on the record," and he's like, "No, that's not on the record." She's like, "You need to say it's off the record before you say it, or then it's on the record." That whole bit, and then she talks about something personal. He's like, well, you can't use that. I thought the chemistry between those two was fucking perfect.
Excellent.
And I'm not a big advocate for like romance and like I'm not I want my superhero movies to be about like action and all that stuff. But they gave me enough of the two, and the chemistry was so good that I actually was like invested in their relationship. Like when I think back on watching like the Superman, like Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire, I'm like, I don't care what either of you to like fucking be together, don't be together. I don't care. I rooted for these two in this one. I thought they were great.
You really do.
So we talked about like character and like big budget films recently, right? So this example here of this scene, this gave you everything you needed to know about the two characters, both Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Like you got a lot from Lois Lane in that scene as well. You could see her world, who's a lot more cynical, and it kind of shows you where her upbringing's come from and kind of where she's coming from and her outlook on, like, for it seems like the conflict going on. Obviously, we know that she's obviously a military brat. That's Lois Lane's backstory. So she would have probably that kind of opinion on things regarding these kind of like these big world conflicts and the USA getting involved in all these kind of things. So it gave you everything you needed to know about these two characters, and it was just enough that you didn't need much else. You could just now go and enjoy your big superhero film. You got given the good starting point for both characters, and more importantly, their relationship and where it's at this point in time. So you can then go off and then enjoy the wild ride of the film and have it be a nice through line throughout the whole thing. It was very, very good, and I'm very, very happy they included it in the film, I would say, because that could have been cut.
Yeah,
that could have been cut down considerably. So I'm very happy it was in there.
No, definitely that had to be in there. I adored that, because again, you get these lovely moments between the two of them. I think there's like 3 in total or 4 in total.
Yeah,
where it's just the two of them.
Yeah, and
every one of them hits like the last. So yeah, I think we get that interview, and then correct me if I'm wrong, we get Lex, the engineer, and we forgot to say was it Ultraman or something like that?
Ultraman.
They go to his hideout, and they're like, how are you going to get in? And they get in, and they absolutely wreak havoc. I was devastated. I knew nothing about those robots, but I was absolutely gutted that they got it.
Yeah.
And then, this is where I go, Paul Stirrett, you're a fucking psychopath. They did the dog thing. The dog got hurt, gave the small dog yelp, and at that point I'm like, right, if you don't root for the dog, you're on Team Lex, and if you're on Team Lex, you're a bad person. So Paul, if you're on Team Lex, mate, I'm afraid you're a bad person, and that goes for all you viewers out there. I'm not saying you have to like Crypto, right? Crypto is flawed. Crypto is a bad dog, but he's a good boy. That's the difference. But yeah, like, so you get that. I love the fact as well where while the engineer's finding the message from his mum and dad, she's managing to kind of find out the second part of it, and but he's like, oh, we've got a distraction. The wee goober thing before it turned into a kaiju, where it was just this wee tiny fat fucking dragon thing. I cracked up. I was like, that's brilliant. I fucking want that toy. And then obviously it becomes the big kaiju, and this is where we get introduced to
the Justice Gang
for the first time. Did you like the big? So we've talked about the smaller moments, like the stuff Alexi's talking, and then you get the nice moments between Lois and Superman. How did we feel about our big first kaiju fight?
I think they did it well. I think it was a good blend of practical and CGI action. I don't think the shot of him going, "Hey, eyes up here," is gonna age well, because he did look very superimposed, and that it was. I think it was more noticeable.
It's not even it's not even because when I seen that in the trailer, I wasn't a fan, and when I watched the movie and had more context, I was like,
they fixed it.
Sorry.
From the trailer, they fixed the shot. The shot was less unstable.
No. Sorry, I'm not talking about how it looked. I'm talking about just like.
Oh, but I was talking how it looked.
Fucking. Yeah, no, I'm just going off that. Like, I get that you thought it looked weird. I was going off because see when you were saying it didn't age well, I was like, I didn't like it. Like I didn't like the whole eyes up here, but I was just it didn't suit who he was as a person.
Oh no, I think it completely did suit what because
no,
it's
I disagree.
No, because that's a line. That's a line he's been thinking of.
A la
the Superman like doesn't do sell. You know that's such a line.
That's actually a good point.
I liked how the Justice Gang interacted as a team with Superman, and I think the thing that made you really endear yourself to the way that this Superman is being portrayed is he can't help but save everything.
He saved that squirrel.
He saved that squirrel.
It's the bit where
he
the dog's still barking at the big foot, and he's like, "Fucking go away!" And instead of punting the dog like any other person would do, he blows the dog away
gently.
And even then, I bet he felt bad that the wee dog huffed its arse on the tree.
He probably did feel bad. He's just far too good for his own good, and that's the entire thing of this film.
It's what he does so well, and it's tiny, small saving the squirrel, saving the wee girl. The point of, I think after he saves the wee girl, there's like a big crash, and he's like, gosh.
Yeah,
gosh darn, there should have been a better way of doing this kind of thing.
The worst word he said is pissed.
What the hey, dude? What the hey, dude?
What the hey, dude?
Yeah,
what the hey, dude?
But again, it's like even when the big kaiju dies, he's like, oh, I wanted to we could have took it to a galactic zoo or euthanized it in a much less painful way. And then you get the complete juxta of Guy Gardner. He's like, man up, mate, fucking get a grip. I love that. And again, even like the James, I get this when I'm talking about the action, right? James Gunn gets action properly. So you've obviously got a Hawk Girl coming in, Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is so fucking cool. Shout out, I'm going to get his real name, but I'm going to call him Darwin because Darwin got done so fucking dirty.
That's how I know him.
Darwin got done so dirty. So Mr. Terrific, Eddie Gathegi, I've absolutely butchered your name, mate, apologies, but he's fantastic. I'm so glad we got him, and I cannot wait till we see him in whatever next project. But coming in the floaty chair, these wee fucking robots and all that stuff. But it was so gross. You had Hawk Girl macing the big kaiju in the eye. But then it was the bit where Guy Gardner got like the plug thing on the Hangby's eye, and then it just started like poking. I was like, ugh, that's bogging. But yeah, loved that whole fight. And again, it's a fun interaction with the team. And once again, I don't know if you've seen the interview, and it's a question. I'll put the question to you guys just now, and then we can kind of take it on at that point. Did you like his suit, and did you like the pants?
Yeah, I like the suit. I like the pants because I like. Obviously, I wear them out in real life, but also but also I like what he said about it. I don't know if you guys saw the interview where he said. So he said
that's
that
what I was getting back on.
He Superman would dress like a wrestler to make sure that the kids aren't scared of him because he's so powerful. He doesn't want to intimidate anybody, especially children, and that's a perfect reason, a logical reason as to why he would dress that way. So absolutely all for it, and I think it suited the tone of this film as well.
Corn Sweat. This is why I'm saying he's fucking made for this, right? Because he summed it up in such a way, and there's a lovely scene. It's at this point where they've saved everybody, and all the kids run over to Superman and cuddle him and thank him and all this kind of stuff. And it was so endearing, and it's this idea where he's like, look, I get that it can be goofy at times, but I want people to feel as if they can come and ask me to save their cat from a tree, and I don't want people to be. And when you hear who... And it's such a fucking lovely message that we'll get to by the end of the review, that he just wants to do good, and he just wants to help people, and so for him to be like, yeah, I can look goofy, that's fine, just as long as it makes people endear to me, and it looks gorgeous moment. And I love the bit where all the kids kind of ran to him and all that stuff, and then it gets revealed. again, another lovely moment that the second part of the video is his parents saying, no, you're going to rule over these fucking dullards, these idiots.
Omni-Man!
With an iron fist.
Yeah.
And you see some of the parents pulling the kids away. And there's a lovely moment, I'm sure it happens in the Daily Planet, where there's a guy, he's like, oh yeah, I was a big fan of Superman. I was always behind him, but fuck that guy. He just like turned like that. And I was like, yep, that's what social life
media
is like now.
Yeah.
Craig, you and I both. So he returns. Oh no. So then Guy Gardner and that come in and they ask about this, talking about he's got is it a harem or something like that?
A harem, yeah.
Harem of women.
A harem. Yeah. And then Guy Gardner and that come in and they kind of say, no, this is definitely, it's real, sorry. And then he's like, how did they get there? So he flies back to the
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress, that's the word I forgot. Fortress of Solitude sees that Gary. Oh, new spoilers. Oh no, we're here. Gary. Number 4 is dead and stuff. But
The best line in the
you
whole
spoke
film.
about it. We loved the clip where he sees Lex and he's like, "Where's the dog?" Like, I fucking loved that scene. So, see, within the context of the movie, that scene is perfect because you've got Lex Luthor and you've got Superman. Superman is so good, but he is all powerful, so he comes in to try and intimidate, and Lex knows him. He's like, you're not going to fucking do anything to me. Like, you're not that guy. And I love that because I'm like, that gives me somewhere to go with this Superman, because it said that I'll bring it up now. There's a point in the John Cena Peacemaker interview where he's slagging him off and he's like, oh, he only kills if he has to. I cannot wait to see David Cornsweet get to that moment. And it's moments like this in the Peacemaker interview that make me go for this, where he comes in to try and intimidate Lex and he doesn't even blink. If anything, he goads him when he's like, oh, ugly dog with a cape, like all that shit. Fucking, I loved that scene so fucking much, man.
Yeah. The thing that I loved about it, not just the whole, he's not going to that point, he's not hurting Lex Luthor, because he can't. It's against his moral code. But also, what's her face? Like Lex Luthor's girlfriend, Eve, just filming.
That's
also,
but he says to himself, like, yeah, get this all on tape. Get this all on tape.
It's like he has so much power as a character in that scene, both like literally and status wise. And like Superman can't do anything because it will only hurt his image more. It will only hurt him and his viewpoint of himself more. It's such it's the point where like that is how Lex Luthor controls Superman. You know, like Joker will control Batman because he's made all of Gotham laugh against their will. You know, like Kingpin can control Spider-Man because he's snapped Mary Jane's neck again. You know, that sort of stuff. I don't know if that happens. I'm making shit up. But like,
in my head, I'm going like, oh, what?
But the way that Lex controls Superman is the brain over brawn, and he's got that plan. He's got like, you know, someone's going to film. But also, can we talk about what a brilliant character Eve is, though?
Yeah.
What a brilliant character she is.
I was so surprised as well, because at the beginning I was just like, what the fuck is, like, why are we doing it? Is this just a fun little kind of, oh, this is where we are, we all take selfies and even it? Because again, there were points, as I say, where like some of these monsters were fighting and stuff like that, and it's been this way for 300 years, so of course they're used to it. There's a point where a guy's sitting eating his yogurt while this is all going on outside, and he's not really batting an eyelid. So I was just like, yes, maybe she would be, because there's a point where I'm sure Eve's taking like one of these kind of selfies while Superman falls in the background and stuff like that. Really cool. I'd like to. I've got questions though about the whole her and Jimmy Olsen dynamic, where I'm like, is this like a well-known thing? Like I was just like,
There's two theories
Why?
I've got on that sense. I read a few things, but I also had my own theory when I was watching the film with that. By the way, that whole dynamic was absolutely hilarious. I thought in the film, I thought the guy playing Jimmy Olsen was great. I thought again great casting.
Yeah.
He works very well in the role. But there's two theories I've got on that whole thing. Number one, and I apparently have found out recently that in the comics, for example, Jimmy Olsen fucks. Like that is a
yeah,
thing.
but that's what
like,
I'm saying. Is that a well-known thing?
Yeah,
So-
Jimmy Olsen fucks. That's a well-known
so
thing.
apparently that is the thing.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's that aspect. My question was in this version that we're making, because there was just a couple of moments in the film where, for example, you know, when the two women in the Daily Planet look at him, and he kind of just kind of smiles sheepishly at them. My question was, is he actually gay? And that's the direction that we're going with the character for this thing, and that's why he's not as interested in
he's
the
just got
Master,
a really, really big personality, Craig.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. In my head, this
he's
is why
Pod from
I had
Game of Thrones, yeah.
I had questions because I was like, the guy's not ugly by any means, but I'm like, he's not your traditional, like, who you would think Lothario. And in my head, I'm going, is that the joke? Because obviously there's two women in the Daily Planet that do it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Eve obviously really likes him and wants to spend time with him. But then also, and again, I get it kind of comes with the job, but there's two, it's what seemed to be like, or three, like, sex workers that were on the street as he was walking past one of the streets, just being like, oh, hey, come with me, blah, blah, blah. So it was just this idea that he was, and for me, I found it funny, don't get me wrong, I laughed and thoroughly enjoyed, especially Eve's kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just like, this is random.
I've got a little fun fact about Jimmy Olsen, if you want.
Go on.
Go for it.
So, the
actor or the character?
The character.
Okay.
So, there's a lovely tie between the DCU and the MCU with Jimmy Olsen. Or like DC and Marvel with Jimmy Olsen. Because he's obviously been played by many different actors. In Smallville, he is played by Aaron Ashmore.
Yeah.
Who plays Iceman.
Are they not? Is it not his
the MCU?
Is it not his?
Oh no, sorry, no, it's
twin.
It's his twin. Aaron Ashmore, Sean Ashmore's twin,
Yeah.
plays Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy
Sean
Olsen.
Ashmore
That's
plays
right.
Iceman in Marvel. That's really good. Keep it in the family. Keep superheroes in the family, guys. Lovely. One is more powerful than the other.
Don't keep that fucking casting pool closed. Give me the fucking Wolverine part. I'm fucking telling you. Anyway, so yeah, this leads to my favourite part of the whole entire movie. It's my favourite line. It's my favourite. It just encompasses who the character is. I fucking adored it. So you see Superman kind of fly back to his apartment. Lois has already sat there. She's gave him a cocoa, and she's kind of asking questions. And he's like, "Oh, I was looking for the dog," and she's like, "Not fighting that imp out there." And he's like, "No, they've got that under control." It's the perfect balance of emotion. This is what James got. Honestly, I just watched Guardians 3 again. James Gunn has the perfect balance of emotion and comedy. I'm telling you, they're having a real emotional thing about what he's going through, and that she never really doubted that he was here, and he's having to obviously deal with the fact that his parents, that everything that he thought of who he was is not true, and all that kind of stuff. While you've got Guy Gardner with a Green Lantern fucking made battering this fucking alien squib thing. Brilliant. I loved it. But then the best line where he says, they've got a warrant out for my arrest. I'm going to turn myself in. She's like, why would you do that? He's like, maybe they'll take me to where the dog is. And she goes, but it's just a dog. And he went, yeah, he's not even a very good dog, but he's going to be alone and he's going to be scared. And I was just like, I fucking love this Superman. Because and it's why I love Crypto, and it's why I said it. He's a bad dog, but he's a good boy. It's so well done, because the whole, I don't know if you know it, like, Crypto is based on James Gunn's dog.
Yeah.
And that's what James Gunn says. He's a bad dog, but he's a good boy. And like, again, I've had so many conversations with people that have known me throughout my life. I love dogs. I've always had a dog. I lost my Westie when he was 14. Thought I would never ever get a dog again, and just felt so lonely without him that I got my dog Harley, who's been here, but she's now awake and pissed off somewhere. I love dogs, but this moment for me summed up who he is. He's like, yeah, he's bad, but he's my responsibility.
He's my
and
dog.
He's going to be scared. He's
my
going to be
dog.
sad, and I need to go and get him. I fucking loved that moment. Like, literally both times watching it, I was just like, this is fucking great. We then see we kind of forgot to bring up Lex Luthor has Planet Watch, the most AI looking motherfucking presentation ever.
Oh, that's something about Lex Luthor that I really enjoyed about this. Like, there's a tendency for superhero films now to be like, we need a space level threat, we need a galaxy. It's like, whereas like Lex Luthor in essence is just a tech bro. And he's just like, but he's like a mega tech bro. And really, this entire film to me felt like I was watching Megamind arguably one of the best superhero films of
It's a great
all time,
film.
because obviously it's based on Superman and Lex and all that shit.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it was the bit where they're walking through the Daily Bugle and Daily Planet, sorry, and they were like, "Oh, he's buying half of Kyrgyzstan or wherever it was."
No. So he's funded. He gave 80 million or 80 billion worth of
And he's
weapons.
getting
he was
that
going to become the king of Jaranpur
To
or
make
whatever
a
it was.
tech
the other place.
utopia. Wait,
Yeah.
that's your goal? That it's like where
Yeah.
you trade in NFTs and, you know, subscribe to traditional family values. What the fuck are you doing, Lex? What are you doing with your weird signet ring? Like, yeah, he felt like such a realistic villain within the unrealistic premise of the DC universe.
Yeah.
And the whole, as you were saying earlier, like the memorized like fucking combos against Superman. Like he was like, "How can I beat Superman? I'm going to clone him and make him better. He's gonna be my own."
I love it.
Like, great. It's
I
of
love
course, he's a megalomaniac with access to unlimited technology, and then you see that he's ripped a hole in the space-time fabric to make not just like his own pocket dimension, but a place where he can actively push out Superman hate and lock up the people who have wronged him. Not people who are like trying to take down his empire, but an ex-girlfriend who wrote a blog post.
wrote a blog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
He's fucking nuts.
it's-
He's fucking nuts. It's great.
I love it because it's so modern in the sense of, look, there is going to come a point in this review where we are not political, but we're going to need to talk about politics because it is fucking strewn with politics and it's done in such a funny, well-versed way, and there is something that I need to kind of comment on it. But yeah, so Superman gets taken to this pocket universe. We get introduced to Element Man, who can make any element. He makes kryptonite, weakens Superman. At this point, I think the Daily Planet, Lois and that are trying to figure it out. We see more between Jimmy Olsen and Eve, and they try and work out how
what Lex is doing and where he is.
part of
Yeah,
this kind of thing. Yeah, and again, lovely moment where you see, like, there's a random. So here's a question that somebody put to me, and I'll be interested in you. So, like, Baby Joey, is that Martian Manhunter? Do we think? Just because he's green?
no.
Or do we think that's
No,
just
because
Joey?
because
Just Joey. That's
because
fine.
Element Man's a metahuman. He's not an
I
alien.
don't think James Gunn would put a shameless bit of reference in there.
Fair.
Like
Fair.
he
Just a question.
Yeah. The one thing that I was like, it got me paused to, it was like when Element Man created the kryptonite, I'm like, oh yeah, we all know that kryptonite is the thing that makes Superman weak. I couldn't remember why like, is it from Krypton? Was their planet made up of the rock that kills them? Craig, help.
No, yeah. So essentially, the reason why he is vulnerable to kryptonite is because that he has he's not living on his alien world. If he was to go
I was going
to,
to say, is it because he's like earthbound?
yeah. So the sun gives him his power. He's not like, if he was on Krypton, one, he wouldn't have any power, and two, he would be okay around kryptonite. But because he has lived on Earth for so long and grown up on Earth, and also had the sun giving him that strength, the antithesis to that is that anything from his alien world he's essentially allergic to, and it will kill him eventually.
I see.
I also like that they set up in an earlier bit when he's talking to the government, where he's like, "Oh, kryptonite," and they're like, "Oh, well, there's none left on the planet," and he's like, "Oh, yeah."
Like that.
So I'm going, right, cool. So we
Like that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. So we don't have like a fucking secret stash.
It's
or
not
whatever,
an
so it'll be
easy
fun how
an
they
easy
come up with
fix because it's such an
exactly.
easy fix in any film to have.
There was that little joke in
Yeah.
that thing where it's like, what's that kryptonite stuff called? And it was like,
that. Kryptonite. Man, that was
that's
great.
fucking great.
It's so good. But again, top tier James Gunn humor. Some of the highlights as well from this universe that he's got, the wee gap universe, like the monkeys, as we say, like just spewing out hate. How do you catch a super dog? You put super squirrels in his brain, so Crypto's just chasing squirrels
So
and
stupid,
stuff.
but it works.
Yeah,
But then,
so
but
dumb.
then we get to the moment though for me where you're really like, nah, here we go. He is the bad guy with Lex when he gets the shop guy and
Yeah.
Fucking
and
murks the
gets
shopkeep.
Is it
but-
Callie or Mackay or Macaulay? I think
Yeah.
his name was.
Malik.
But there
Mali.
was a thank you, Malik Mali. I nearly got there. There's a moment though where I'd be interested. I've watched it twice now, and I'm really going to look for the third time. So he obviously does the Russian roulette thing where he spins a bullet, shoots, and he's safe. Asks the second question. I love that character was like, "No, Superman, don't do it. It's an honor just that I've met you and stuff." And I'm going, again, it fucking reaffirms that Superman is someone that these people should be idolizing, and they wouldn't give him up. And it was sad as well because he's like, "I've not got any family. Don't worry about me." But he shoots him the second time, and he's like, "I didn't think it would happen so fast." And I was going, "Is there a hesitancy there that you've just killed a man?"
No.
But then he's just
he was
like,
So it's a
he was making a
disappointment
flip.
because the game didn't go.
right, okay. So
Flippant.
here's my here's my second question then, right? So we've definitive no to that. Cool, I'll take that. Do you think his next line was a jibe, or Lex isn't as smart as he thinks he is when he says, "Who I'll kill next? Maybe I'll kill Clark Kent," that interviewer that you keep talking to?
That was surface. Like, that was not he knows, because if he knows, why weren't Man Pa Kent there?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm saying then.
Because
So
Lex would use the ultimate bit of leverage here and putting Superman's dad in front of him. That's your ultimate bit of arm twisting.
100%. But again, to me, that reaffirms. I'm like, I like it because he's not as smart as what he thinks he is, and that's a slight weakness towards Lex as well.
Win for the
Fucking
hypno
loved it.
glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hypno glasses is so cool, man. It's so.
Yeah.
It's not though, because it addresses stupid. It literally fixes stupid.
It gives you something. Yeah.
Fucking the fact that is been a thing for so
yeah.
many years, that's stupid. And they're like, it's hypno glasses. He doesn't look like who he looks like, and I'm like, brilliant, cool, move on.
One of the things that I would like to sort of like shout out to is just Mr. Terrific. Like, there was no shade of caricature about him at all. There was no sort of, he wasn't like psychic. Like, he was such a well-developed character in of himself. Even the dorky biker jacket with Terrific on the back, loved that. I liked how when Crypto chomped his little machines, he was like, "Those are fucking expensive, my man. Stop doing it." And he was just like, he was so realistic about the expectations. He felt like, you know, he is the Justice Crew, the Justice Squad, whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah. He felt like a really good like secondary character to keep the film's narrative going when Superman was stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant bit of writing, brilliant bit of character work, and like Eddie, like, he's come so far from Darwin, thankfully.
He got done so
I know. I'm so happy
What were
for
you
him.
going to say?
No, I was just going to shout it as well. Again, I was going to talk about Mr. Terrific as well, actually, that, and I'm sure we'll talk about the big fight scene, the spectacle that's what we're getting to next. I know, I'm sure. So I want to shout at Metamorpho, which obviously is Anthony Carrigan. I've liked Anthony Carrigan for Element Man. His name's Metamorpho. So Anthony Carrigan, I've been an admirer of a long time. I don't know if anyone saw Barry. Anyone see the TV show Barry?
Yeah.
With Bill Hader. So I loved him in that, big breakout role for him in that, and he's just a guy who, you know, I just like his story. He was a guy who, if you saw him before, he was a leading man. He is a leading man look, but he just unfortunately went through a whole horrible time with his hair. I think he's got like proper alopecia and stuff, and he kept losing all his hair. So the roles kind of dried up for him based on that, but he's kind of found his calling and found his niche. And I'm just very happy that he's been given this role. And I think he's going to be great going forward. He gives that James Gunn oddball character that we kind of needed, I think, in this film as well. So yeah.
Pretty sure he's already a DC alum. I'm pretty sure he played Victor Zsasz in
Yes,
Gotham.
He did. In Gotham, he was Victor Zsasz in
also
Gotham.
in The Flash too. The Flash.
Yeah,
film,
he's been around. He's
he's
good.
He's really good. So yeah, we had the guy. We've already kind of touched on it. There's a meeting where Lois goes to kind of tell the Justice Gang that he's in a pocket universe, and that's where we kind of get the hypnoglasses stuff. And there's a lovely line where Lois says, Justice, fucking Guy Gardner's like, "Oh, it's against my oath." And they're like, "Oh yeah, anytime he doesn't want to do something, it's against his oath, blah blah blah." And she goes like, "That haircut should be against your oath." And he's like, "What did you just say?"
Like 300 odd women would say otherwise.
Mate, nobody in my cinema heard that, and I was pissing myself.
It was like 300. He doesn't say women. He says chicks. It's like something really just sort of misogynist.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
so
fucking brilliant.
Nathan Fillion, man, absolutely terrific, absolutely phenomenal.
I will say though,
terrific
about Nathan Fillion. I think James Gunn could have done more with him. I think.
I think he will.
Not like as in the character, I mean Nathan Fillion. I know they're good pals, and Nathan Fillion's in a lot of things that James Gunn does, but I felt I was just watching Captain Hammer again. I just felt like I was watching. I felt like I was
Josef.
watching Nathan Fillion, and not. I think there could have just been a bit more character, a little bit more direction on him to do just like a little bit more, because I think Nathan Fillion's fallen into that rut of actor who's just kind of playing their
Yeah, playing
persona.
Side note: was James Gunn involved in Doctor Horrible?
No, that was Joss Whedon. Mention
yes.
his name because he's a bit of a
yeah.
Fair.
Loved
that-
Doctor Horrible thing along blog. Big shout out to that.
But-
So yeah, we'll crack on because we've went over it a wee bit, but we're just enjoying talking about
Oh,
it.
can I quickly ask your opinion on his Mr. Blue? Sorry to interrupt. The Mr. Blue Sky
That's where
moment.
we're going. No, but that's where.
Oh,
so that's where we're
fantastic.
going. So the next thing is Terrific fight. So Terrific takes Lois to the little fucking campsite. I loved it. I can understand your grievance is maybe a strong word. I can understand your hesitancy of it in terms of the tone of like the music. But to me, that's almost like James Gunn, just like signature moment where he loves these kind of picking his song, putting this action to music. The action within the sequence I thought was fucking brilliant. I thought it was choreographed so well. I loved the use of the wee balls. There's a moment where Lois is kind of circling as all this stuff's going on, and it's all madness. But there's one distinct moment where I can remember
He grabs one of them.
Terrific kind of grabs one of the balls, floats over. 5 of them are spinning down, and he just fucking ping, 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 ping.
Yes.
It's so I just find it entertaining. I can understand why it might be jarring in terms of it's like the only kind of action sequence that's kind of done like that. But to me, I'm going, that's just a James Gunn doing James Gunn things,
Now,
and I like it.
all of the
Here we
things
go.
you mentioned are why I disliked it as a sequence. So to me, that felt like the studio had gone, "Hey, see that thing you did with Guardians? Can you do that for us?"
I think but I think that's a James Gunn because it's the same in Suicide Squad as well.
It is the same in Suicide Squad as well, but I think with this one, it just didn't land as well because the camera stayed with Lois. Everything had to be shot from her perspective, and a lot of the action didn't feel as weighty or as punchy. There's like moments where some of the choreography was like, that's been retouched in CGI, that's someone on a string, and I think that point in the film was asking the audience to do a little bit more suspension of disbelief than the rest of the film. I'm not saying it was a bad sequence, it just didn't land for me. And the thing that really distracted me from it was the fact that the music switched from diegetic to non-diegetic music. I was like, hold on. Is that in her head? Is that on the radio? Why did the bubble make it cinematic? There was just something a little bit incongruous about it.
To me that was just a choice where it's like we're now in this moment. So it started off, this was just the music that was playing in the background within the scene, but now we as an audience are now in this moment.
We're experiencing it,
Yeah, exactly.
It just
I liked it. I'm not gonna grumble against you not liking it. I kind of get what you're saying, but for me, I was so invested in that character at that moment, and this was one of the scenes as well where I'm like, oh, maybe not a movie. This is where we get This is where we got with the last DCEU, where I'm like, I don't need a film. I don't need a movie. Put him in a TV series or make him in the next fucking Batman movie. Like, I don't need a Mr. Terrific movie. But maybe later down the line.
Put him in
I want
like they've
Batman.
already got Punisher. Put him in Punisher. Not Punisher. Fucking
Lanterns.
Peacemaker.
yeah, that's the
Peacemaker?
one. Peacemaker.
But yeah, I'd like to see him again. I'm just like, I need a Batman movie soon. We're getting Supergirl next. I need a Wonder Woman movie. If we're going to do it, give me the hits and then give me the secondaries. I don't need another fucking Suicide Squad, fucking, what was Birds of Prey.
Those days are gone, Andrew.
Batman,
Those days are
Wonder
gone.
Woman.
We're all
Let's
good.
hope so.
We're all
So yeah,
good.
we now get the escape. Metamorphosis sees Superman's friend gets shot. He stops doing it. He makes a somewhat of a son. We rescue
To get him
Joey.
going.
That was cool.
He
That was
saves-
a cool moment. That was a fucking cool moment.
Yeah.
Where
Really
he's
cool.
because it's like, you know, I love how
He's
they
saying,
kind
like,
of
hydrogen.
yeah, they explained his
like,
power in such a
yeah.
really fun way, and
Yeah.
it's like, sometimes your superpowers are like, how the fuck does that work in reality? And he goes, okay, no, I need to know how to make it. Brilliant, fantastic little bit of just like quiet acting from Anthony Carrigan. I loved it. Really good. Really good.
It's good.
Very, very good.
Really good.
So we see him escape. He saves Crypto, and then we get the kind of chasing. So they try and head back towards the portals, and then I think is it Raptors he calls them,
Yeah.
come in and start fighting them and stuff like that. This is where we see Crypto chasing Mr. Terrific's ball, sphere things, T-spheres. This was the one scene that I would probably put in the dislike pile, because the I don't know what they called it, the river of fucking
The anti-protons.
yeah, it looked
Or some shit.
very kind of Minecrafty, where it was like squared off like lava and stuff.
Yeah.
That's my only real complaint. Other than that, like, because there was a whole point. Obviously, the struggle was to keep Joey out of that, and Superman kept falling into it and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't know what this is, and I'm really struggling to kind of put my head around it. It's a tiny wee complaint. I don't mind it. They obviously are getting sucked towards a black hole. Superman turns around, blows them away, and then they get away. I love, again, another favourite line though, when Mr. Terrific finds them on the camera, and he's like, and Lois is like, oh, have you found him? He's like, yeah, him, the bad dog, some little green baby, and a squid. I've got them all.
Mm.
And then he's like, follow me. And Crypto tries to fucking chew on the robot that's kind of helping them get out. And so I was just, and he's like, Crypto, no, don't fucking. And I'm just like, I fucking love Crypto so much. So yeah, they escape again. Superman, he's kryptonite poisoning, but he's like, oh, there's more people there. We need to go back. And then came my second favourite moment of this whole movie, where we got to see more of Ma and Pa Kent. And Ma Kent calls Pa Kent Mush because he's so emotional and stuff like that. And this scene between Superman and Pa Kent, where he's like, everything I knew about myself was a lie. My parents wanted me to be something that I didn't know I wanted to be, and all this kind of stuff. And that monologue from Pa Kent, where he's like, look, it's the choices you make and the things that you do that make you who you are. It was fucking
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It was so fucking good, right? And now is when I'm gonna address this, right? The word woke is getting thrown about for everything these days, right? This movie is the furthest thing from fucking woke. There's nothing woke. Shut the fuck up, right? This is stemming from, and again, I have friends, and for the most part, I'm not talking about most people. This stems from like horrible, horrible people, right? I've seen people complain about, oh, Superman was about being American. He's not.
No.
Superman is an immigrant from another planet that comes to this planet to do good. The fact that they addressed it with him saving a country from another country that thinks that they can just do that, and he even says during the interview we hang with, he's like, I'm not saying that's a perfect country, but that doesn't give the right to. We know what they're talking about, and it is addressed so fucking well throughout this film that Superman does it, right? And again, regardless of what your points of view are, right, the fact that Superman is like, no, you shouldn't be bullying, you shouldn't be doing these nasty things, people shouldn't be dying, we should be looking after one another. Even the smallest of things, like there's moments where, as we say, he saved a squirrel, he's saving a dog. Like, he has a love for everything and everyone, right? So this idea that, oh, he's not for hope in the US of A, it's sad to say, and it's true, and to prove it, we're the same, right? Great Britain, fucking America, we used to look at, oh, we're the heroes, we're the good guys. We're not the good guys. We're not. We're not the good guys. America, you're certainly not the good guys. I don't think there are any good guys anymore, or at least the good guys aren't the people that are making the decisions. We're not political, but I think what James Gunn does in this film to address these really significant and in the moment what we are going through within this film, I think he does it so fucking gorgeously well. The stuff with the Jaren Purians shouting on Superman, the kids tying that flag together.
Oh, that
for
was
the symbol
beautiful.
To have hope.
Such a beautiful
Gorgeous
moment.
moments. Loved it. Fucking brilliant. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so you get these really hangry moments where you've got Pa Kent saying, it's the choices you make, but they even put him in a situation now where it's like, do I go save
Yeah.
the people that are expecting me to come and save them, or do I go to Metropolis and try and fix everything that's going to go wrong? And it puts him in such a moment where I'm just like, yeah, this is who Superman is, and this is the way Superman should be, and it's not about countries, it's not about that, it's about what's good and what's the right thing to do. And James Gunn and David Cornsweet and everybody in this movie fucking smash that out the park, and that's why I adore this film. It's not the best ever superhero movie, it's not the best movie of the year for me, but there are moments that hit where I'm going like, this is why I'm a loser with Funko Pops and fucking nerd shit and all that, because these are the people that we should aspire to be. And I'll go back to the tweet, this is the person that the Iron Giant, this is the Superman that the Iron Giant looked up to, because he's fucking perfect.
Yeah,
No more politics.
couldn't put it more perfectly, man. Yeah,
Exactly.
like, honestly,
Summed up very well.
Like, it's so on the nose, you can't not think about it and can't not compare and ask yourself why are we not more like this Superman? Why are we not more? There was a lot of overlap, I feel, from David Cornsweet's performance and Christopher Reeves, and I feel like this is a fantastic legacy that is being carried on through this character. I think it's going to instill a lot more people to actually look up to. Like, you know, it'd be nice for like kids to have like a proper role model in like a comic book character again, as opposed to dark, edgy.
Yeah.
They have it in spades. Such a good point, Joseph. To have someone to look at. This is the one.
This is the one you look at, because it transcends nation, it transcends politics, it transcends religion. It's just fucking do your best. And if that's all you can do, just do your fucking best. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, the whole film, capstone with the big S, it is hope. It's a hopeful film.
Yeah.
The film is so hopeful. And like James Gunn did say, like the theme is like that's prime superhero theme. That beautiful score by John Williams, that main leitmotif for Superman. You can't like, genuinely, when that credits was playing, I got a bit weepy. Listening to it.
I've never kind of found myself up. Not that I wasn't a big fan of Superman, but this is one where I'm like, I'm a bit like, I bought this for the fucking crack to have it on this and blah blah blah. It's got to be one of my gym t-shirts now, because I'm just like, yeah, I rock with this Superman. He's fucking, I really like him. So yeah, we get the escape. Monpa, we see that there's war. He has to decide, so he goes to Metropolis. There's a big fucking
void
split in the earth, void, whatever you want to call it, starting to go. We see more fights with the engineer and with Ultraman. This is where it becomes not really a kids movie, because fuck me, that was quite terrifying. The stuff with the nanomites going into his lungs and his eyes and stuff like that. But this is where I enjoyed the fact that, because I've seen people complain that he gets beat up too much. I like the fact that it almost felt as if it's like,
Paul said that.
Yeah, Paul. I like the fact that it almost feels as if he needs to go, because it happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, where they talk about Spider-Man pulls his punches, because if he actually fucking fights, nobody can keep up with it, or he'll hurt someone very badly. I like the fact that Superman almost has that as well, where there's a moment where he's flying up the way and Lex is screaming, fucking catch up with him, what you do? And she's like, we're trying. I like the fact that Superman does have that almost next level to go to, where these people are like, fuck, now I am at my maximum to try and keep up with this guy. Love the fact that he went up fucking straight down, unconscious. The scene where he was spewing that up and pull it out, disgusting. Brilliant. But I liked it. It was good, but it was bogging. And then we got the reveal of...
Oh, that reveal. I saw a fucking tweet that was like, I think it might have been deleted because of how ridiculous it was. But I saw someone tweet out, that should have been Henry Cavill. I was like,
well,
that was also Paul.
I'd seen like rumors that it could have been, because they were going to introduce Bizarro, but also Ultraman that could be from a different. And I was like, wouldn't hate it. I'm glad they didn't do it.
It would have
now.
been
I like
too
the fact
much,
that they
man.
didn't.
It would have been
It would have taken away the
too
focus,
much.
yeah.
So yeah, we get the final fight. This is where I agree with Joseph when they're saying it's like it's almost kind of very paint by numbers. It's Iron Man versus a different Iron Man. It's fucking Ant-Man fighting Yellow Jacket, who's just another kind of different Ant-Man. It's Superman versus Superman.
It's cookie cutter. It's very cookie cutter for.
It is though.
But it works. And like my problem with plot was like earlier on when it kind of dipped a wee bit in the middle. I thought the finale, the final of the film was great. I also thought clone Superman looked a little bit like Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle. Yeah.
He is like the love child of Brendan Fraser and Henry Cavill. He's like he's like the love child of Henry Cavill and Brendan Fraser. David Cornswell.
So Craig, you're mming it. What are your mms at? What are you mming at?
My about that is that I see your point about it being like it's Superman versus Superman, but it's not. It's Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is it's not like he is the one controlling the fight. It's about that dynamic.
Yeah.
But I do see your point that it's like bish bash bosh two smashing your toys together.
It's a
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a again. Look, it's super thing versus super thing, and it's like again, like Lex is controlling him, but it's like it's a clone, but it's not quite good as you. It's dumber than you, if you can believe that, but it's stronger and this, that, and the other thing. Again, it's we've seen it before, but there's also parts that we haven't seen before which made me enjoy it. So as I say, like the stuff where it is Lex shouting out the A1, A1, A1.
Mm-hmm.
We also get the lovely fucking speech from Nick.
Thank you.
What you want to talk about, Craig?
Oh,
right,
big time!
Take it away.
So, this was number one. What made me go, this guy gets it. This guy is Lex Luthor. This guy completely understands what this part is and what he should be doing with the part and the starting point that he's given this character. Lex Luthor is a petty, megalomaniac, jealous, envious, absolute lunatic. And that is your man-child. That is your starting point for this character. And then he can grow into what he will become, which is a villain that it can take on the best of them. Like when he get, for example, I can't wait to see Nicholas Hoult putting on the Lex Luthor fight suit one day and going toe to toe. Like I can't wait for all that shit. That's going to be great. But that monologue that he gave, it was like fucking music. And that's when you know that someone is giving a fantastic performance, when you hear the rhythm and I don't know if you guys get this as well, but you hear the rhythm in the speech and the way he is, it flows from line to the next and he just keeps going with that emotion the whole way through. It was a phenomenal speech that he gives it there. David Cornswell also in that scene later on also gives his speech, which I'm sure you'll want to mention as well, which is all about being human. Yeah, no, that's okay. But for me, that was the best moment of the film in terms of acting performance. I sat up. As I said at the start, I said, wow, after that. And I turned to Paul and went, come on. that moment.
I'm telling you something. See, after Paul's video, I made a joke about it. He's sitting at least 2 rows away from me when we go and see Fantastic Four. I'm not sitting with that miserable bastard ruining that film.
Was Paul sitting the entire time like that, just folded arms? So I don't like it.
So I there was a couple of times where I just turned to him to kind of check how he was doing, and he kind of just turned back to me just like kind of just like
he's such a miserable,
and I was like,
I love him. I do love him to bits, but he's a misery gut. So yeah, like we get the fight. I love there's a bit where Superman smiles and he's like, oh yeah, brain beats brawn, but I've got a fucking bad dog. Whistles on him, and then mate, see the reveal. He's like, Crypto, get the toys. I was like, he's the goodest boy. He's such a good dog. I fucking love Crypto so much. My G. I love Crypto. Come at me. Again, my missus doesn't like Crypto. Fair enough if you don't like Crypto, but I love him. I put him in every fucking DC film.
He'll be in Supergirl.
Everyone.
He'll be in Supergirl.
Oh no, he'll be. Spoilers.
Yes.
No, I'm joking. So we get the fight. We get the reveal as well that Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Zordon are in Jaranpur and they're saving everybody. Again, he's a fucking douche. But the point where Guy Gardner puts the box round. Again, lovely moment where the wee boy stood and he just stays and he's Superman. He puts the box around him and he's like, Superman couldn't be here, but you got an upgrade. I was like, you're a dickhead. I fucking love it. I should not like this guy. I shouldn't like Guy Gardner. But I do. I'm more excited to watch him than I am this series, Green Lantern series that's coming to HBO. I'm like, yeah, but where's Guy Gardner?
He's in it.
Guy Gardner. I want
He's
him.
in it.
He's in it, yeah.
I fucking love it, man.
He's in it too, yeah.
So yeah, we see them kind of rescuing really cool moments. Hangman makes a big huge hammer, kills a tank, all that kind of stuff, and then we see Superman obviously rescuing. There's a point where he lifts a building and all that kind of stuff. There's a lovely shot where after he saves the woman on the bridge and he just kind of floats up.
Yes, that was it.
Well
Superman.
done, James Gunn and the cinematography team.
Yes.
Well done, DOPs. Whoever was involved in that, fantastic.
Beautiful shot.
We obviously get the fight. Crypto comes and helps and he takes out all the wee cameras, so then Lex can't give any directions to are we calling him Bizarro? I think he might become
he's
Bizarro, that's the
Ultraman.
question.
No, he's Ultraman.
He is Ultraman.
Kills Ultraman.
It's a separate character.
Kills
yeah.
Ultraman. The way he kills Ultraman, thoroughly enjoyed. Cracks it again. Superman can break bones. Good. This is what we need. There needs to be stakes. Snaps his arm, puts him on bus, takes him down, and takes him through a black hole. That'll be an end question. Remind me to ask you at the end. Again, David Cornsweet. He's good at it all. Mr. Terrific. He's like, hey, what you doing down there? Stop playing around. He's like, I'm not playing around. I'm doing really serious stuff down here. I was like, it's so good. Fucking David Cornsweet, James Gunn. Well done. At this point, Lex opens a portal and he's about to leave. Superman comes through the window and stops him. So this is the point and the thing that I want to commend him about most, right? So it's a shame Paul's not here because he would understand it more than you guys, just because I know he's not really big like WWE fans, but you should understand what I mean. So in wrestling, there is a term babyface and a heel. Babyface is a good guy, heel is a bad guy. The biggest trend that you would have seen all the time is that eventually the bad guy becomes so cool, he'll become the good guy. So it happened with Stone Cold Steve Austin, happened with recently Roman Reigns, happens all the time. You want the bad guy becomes so fucking cool, he becomes a good guy. The hardest thing to do in wrestling is to be a genuine good guy because everybody thinks he's a fucking loser. The last time it was when it was Hulk Hogan in the 80s where he would tell you to say your prayers and eat your vitamins. Turns out Hulk Hogan wasn't a very nice guy in the first place, but let's move on from that. The point I'm trying to make is David Cornsweet comes in and does the whole speech where it's like, oh, I put my pants on one leg at a time and I put one foot in front of the other and I make mistakes, but I still keep on track. Gosh darn. I'm like, everything about that speech should make me not like you for being a fucking dweeb. But he fucking earns it. And I'm like, you are a genuine good guy and it worked. And I cannot stress as a wrestling fan, and any viewers or listeners out there, if you're a wrestling fan, please put in the comments and kind of tell me if I'm wrong or let me know if what I said has made sense. But I think making that fucking proper old school, oh, I'm a good guy, fucking shiny apple on the teacher's table, that kind of good guy, I think is so hard to do. But I think they've done it in spades, and I think David Cornsweet is perfect, and I think he's the Superman. He was born to be this Superman. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got it. He's got that charming, handsome, earnest heart of gold with the dweeb underneath. He's also the same height as Christopher Reeve as well, who's like the iconic Superman. I mean, physically imposing, but gentle giant.
I liked that Lex was roughly the same height. There's a point where they go nose to nose.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they're both tall gentlemen.
Yeah, but I like that though, because to me it kind of hangs into this whole, oh, you've came to Earth and everybody just fucking dotes on you and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that he thinks he's an equal to Superman. We then get a lovely little Hulk moment where Crypto just starts ragdolling Lex, and you've got again, fucking love Crypto. Superman shouting, down, no, stop it, shouldn't work. Does, fucking loved it, well done. Mr. Terrific. There's a glasses mustachio man that's kind of seems as if he's going to. he was in it quite a lot. That I feel as if he might be friends with James Gunn and might be in more things, but he was the one that was trying to close the rift. So get the rift closed. We see all the people in the Pocket Universe get released. It was a lovely moment with Eve and Jimmy Olsen. Also, while all this stuff's going on, the Daily Planet's up in the ship and stuff. That stuff was fine. I didn't. There wasn't really a standout to me. There was some really nice comedy moments where they're like, "Oh, how many does it fit? 5, 6." And the 6th guy, Steve's like, "Why don't I get a chair?"
I
really
love
that.
the
It's
shot
funny.
of them running up the stairwell with the big fucking board.
The big cork board. Yeah,
And it's like that has come from a bit in life. That's not like
probably.
you can see that happening somewhere, and I think James
Yeah.
Gunn has either been part of it or seen it.
Yeah, but then comes again a moment where normally I'm not a big fan of this because I'm just like, I don't need romance in my superhero movies. But there's a point where Superman walks up to Lois. He's like, "I thought I'd give you an interview," and she's like, "Yeah, over here." They sneak off, they embrace, big hug, big kiss, gorgeously well lit shot. It's fucking lovely. The score's swell, everything brilliant. But again, what does James Gunn do best? He does emotion and he does comedy, and he cuts and he's like, "How long's that been going on for?" He's like, "I don't know, about 3 months."
It's lovely. It works. It works so because we know they're together. We know the characters get together. We don't need a will they, won't they, all this contrite bullshit. We know they're together. Just give us what we want, and it works very well. Because really, at the end of the day, like you said that Superman wasn't all American. I think he is, because he is an immigrant who has made something of himself, which really is what the crux of like that old American value is.
He's not modern.
He's not modern American.
Modern day America.
Yeah.
He's old school Americana kind of stuff, which is, again, I think for being honest, I think us as well. Again, just isn't like me having a go at the Americans. I feel as if that's kind of been lost in our country as well, where it's like we should go back to that kind of thing.
Go watch the Gentleman.
Just be nice.
Watch the Gentleman films.
Just be nice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you get the sweetheart. Again, you get the smooch. You get like the golden couple of it. That's all you want. All you need. They're going to make out point, and they're
pointing, Andrew.
I've been clocking it throughout the whole episode. It's been great.
Sorry, Lara.
Every time I just go, "Oh, Lara. Oh, Lara."
ADHD, I'm really sorry. So yeah, it's a really lovely poignant moment. We then obviously Lex gets sent to, I can't remember the name of the prison, but it's the same prison that the Suicide Squad were in. It begins with a B. Can't remember. Let me know in the comments. Then it ends with Superman in the Fortress of Solitude. We get Craig's favourite joke where he's like, "Oh, 4's a name," and he's like, "Gary's a name." And
So is Gary.
Again, Superman's.
So is
Yeah, so
Gary.
is Gary.
What a joke.
But then he calls him Gary. But
Love
then
it.
Gary Hingway. We then get the reveal of obviously Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl, and she comes and picks up her dog. Crypto was her dog the entire time.
Yes.
Lovely dialogue where Gary says, "Oh, if we don't have emotions, but if we did, I would show concern for the fact that she's so out there, like she goes to another planet to get pissed and get drunk because their immune system, you can't get drunk with a yellow sun and stuff like that." So it gives you an insight to what we're going to get with the next DC film, which is going to be the Supergirl movie, that she's not going to have her shit together. But then again, I said at the beginning why I love this film. I smiled from start to finish. This ending had the biggest smile on his
that
face.
was a nice ending.
The thing that now brings him comfort is his adoptive parents who've brought him up to be the person. And again, Rosie, when we watched this, she said she was a wee bit sad that it kind of took him to get to this moment for him to kind of show that towards his adoptive parents. But to me, I'm going, right, I've never been adopted, so I can't tell. But why I really loved this was I'm going, he's from another planet, and this is the only thing he has of his home, of his parents, of everything, right? And that's what he felt was for him to be who he was. He was a good person, and he was coming, and then it got revealed that actually, no, that's not true. And again, it kind of falls back into that Pa Kent speech where he's like, no, it's the decisions that you've made, it's the person that you've become, and it's the choices and the actions that you've served. And it's just such a lovely moment where he's like, well, yeah, I don't have that anymore, but I've got these two that were my parents that raised me to be the good person that I am. Fucking beautiful ending. Lovely close up with David Cornsweet smiling, and we get the credits. I adored this film. This film is an 8.5 out of 10 minimum. It is so much fun. It is so good. It is genuinely heartwarming, lovely, funny, emotional. Paul Stirrett, have a word with yourself.
Agreed.
Scores?
Joseph, you go first.
Yeah, I'm interested in this.
So on Letterboxd, I give this a 4 out of 5.
Oh.
Yes, an 8 out of 10!
Which would translate to an 8 out of 10. Yeah. It's a very, very well made film. There's clearly a lot of love, time, care, effort went into this film. James Gunn clearly knows what he's doing. He's not squandering his chance at making these films. Like, it's kind of like what we were getting at with Jurassic Park. When you've got an IP as big as this, it's a responsibility to make something that is worthy of the budget and the money behind
100%.
it and the legacy of it.
529,462,710
Superman's going to beat it. Still calling
Okay,
it.
so you can't
Right.
you can't just quote money to prove your point. It doesn't prove your point. What it does, it
does.
it
Oh, we don't
proves
have time.
greed and laziness, Andrew. That's what I'm getting
Listen,
at.
My point isn't defending
And
it.
what
My point
is
is,
this
if the
film
studio
about?
sees those numbers, they go, "Why change anything?" That's
No,
all
but I'm saying this film proves that this is
I get- no,
why
yeah.
you
Yeah.
need that creative drive.
I
Yeah.
agree. Again, and this is why I scored this movie far better than the Jurassic Park. Again, my thing as well. I felt like because I was defending it, I gave it. It's between a 5 and a 6. I don't think it's between a 6 and a 7. It's between a 5 and a 6. This film, to me, I could easily, if I go and see it again, I'm going to see it with my dad. It'll probably go up to a 9 because I fucking enjoy it that much. Craig, what about you, mate?
So I would say Superman is the kind of film the world needs right now. I think it is full of heart and care and hope. As Joseph said, it's an example of a big budget film being done with care and still having all the elements that make a great film, like character and story. Paul made a comment when we were having a chat after the film. He kind of said that it was a bit too bloated, the story. I actually disagree with that. I think while it was busy, it still had a clear through line through the whole film that kind of made the whole thing balance quite well. I think the CGI was fantastic. I think some of the best CGI we've had in a while, I would argue. I think they had a balance of practical and CGI, which means that you actually could see Superman flying. You knew that David Cornsett was putting in the ab work, on the wires and stuff. So yeah, all that as well. I think it's a great starting point for the DCU. I think it's going to. I can't wait to see where it all goes from here and how they're going to tie everything together. Is it going to be tonally the same, or is it going to be different? And they're going to bring it all together. So yeah,
I think they've already kind of addressed that it's going to be different. I think they've said it's
which is
already,
cool.
like they're going to be very different
That's cool.
tones and stuff.
I like that because it's different from Marvel, so that's good. It's different because Marvel's quite
Here's a
linked
question
in that
for
sense.
you. Is this Superman in the same universe as Pattinson?
Oh, we don't have time.
They...
We don't have time.
That is the
question.
Do you know what?
That is the question.
That is the next question for the catch up.
I would say that. Yeah, we can have a chat about that.
We
Yeah.
will address that in the next catch up.
With Mates After
Give me a number,
Dark.
Craig.
So I think this film falls in the same category as The Fall Guy for me. I don't think it is the best film of the year in terms of the best film of the year. But
You said it was.
Huh?
You said it
No,
was.
I'm not finished.
Oh,
I'm not
we're
finished.
hearing those pedals going backwards, boys.
Let me finish. Let the man finish his point. So in terms of the best film made this year, that is Sinners, right? 10 out of 10. But if you were to ask me what is my favourite film of this year so far that I will go back and watch again multiple times, like The Fall Guy was last year, it's going to be this film. It's Superman. This is a 9 out of 10. 100% a 9 out of 10.
Okay, love it. Forgot there's two after credit scenes. They don't really, not much happens.
Nah,
One is
yeah, fun. They're fun.
Superman on the moon hugging his dog. Any artists out there that fancy a commission, hit me up. I would love that picture of me and my dog. If anybody can do
nice.
that, let me know.
That'd be nice.
And then the second one, it was just a conversation between Superman and Mr. Terrific talking about the
wall not being lined up.
the wall getting put together again.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't really up
Fun,
so much, but
yeah.
yeah. That is all for the Superman review. Let us know in the comment section. Just give us a score. That's all I need in the comments. Just a number. What did you, if you've seen this film, what do you score it out of 10? Do us a favour, hit us up in the comments, let us know what you thought of Superman. Give us more detail if you fancy, we will definitely read them. As I say, we will read them out on that. I've got some reactions as well from people that I've put out on social media. Let me get that up just now. So we got Matt Desmond, 98, said, ripped straight from a comic. Absolutely incredible. Corn Sweat and Holt are perfect. Also got Joe Getty, I've seen it and it was glorious. So big fans of these kind of things. So as I say, Send us in your messages. We'll read them out on the podcast. Get involved as much as you possibly can. Our next big movie review is The Fantastic Four. I cannot wait. The trailer was on again at the front of before Superman in the IMAX theatre. That score does things to my body. See, fantastic, and it builds, and they sing it again and again and again and again. We're all going to go see it together. I need mood checks before we walk into the cinema, please, because if there are certain people in funny little moods, I'm not sitting next to you. But yeah, keep your eyes and ears peeled on the social media channels for all our content that is coming. There's plenty more to come throughout the year. We've already got our Jurassic World Rebirth review out there. We've ranked Jurassic Park. There's some Fantasy Movie Draft is now live on YouTube. So go check out all our videos. As we say as well, we were aiming for 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel before the end of July. So if you've not yet hit the subscribe button, hit it now, motherfucker. Joseph, where can the lovely people find you and all that you do?
The lovely people can find me just being all punk rock on my social medias at Joseph Boone. That's Joseph with an F. On pretty much all platforms, where I should be promoting the fact that the Rooted in the Winged audiobook is now live on all the places you can find audiobooks, because it's a fantastic young adult novel where myself and another lovely voice actor is narrating the story in tandem. It's beautiful. Please check it out.
Craig?
You can find me on all social media platforms. It's at Craig Andrew Mooney. And can I just as well just say my new editing business, Paul's Pages, is out and up and running now. So my books are open for August. If any writers are avid fans of this show, I do have an editing business where I will take your script and I will give you as much advice as I possibly can. And yeah, so yeah, please check out CraigAndrewMooney.com.
What's the name of that? One last time? One last time, Craig?
Polished Pages.
I thought you said Paul's Pages, and I thought that's going to boost Sterrett's ego through the roof.
And if you want to follow me, I'm at Andalf the Grey. But as I said, don't do it. I don't want you followed. Then fucking follow me. Follow me the podcast at WithMatesPod on all social media platforms. Most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get in the comments. Let us know what you thought of Superman. But until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let's on to me and Jay.
Paul really hated that dog.